Good morning. Welcome to Southern College of Optometry's April webinar. We still have a couple minutes and I see people are still joining us, so we'll just wait just a couple more minutes before we get started. But hope everybody is doing well. Okay, so that we stay on time, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, thank you all for sharing your time to join us today for our April webinar rather on financial aid and budgeting. This is presented by the Southern College of Optometry, and I hope that you all are doing well, that you're healthy and safe. We realize that this is a very unprecedented time and we are all making adjustments to how we live our lives and balance all of our responsibilities. So we appreciate your taking time out to join us today. This is part of a webinar series that we offer monthly where we discuss different topics that relate to prospective students as well as our incoming students. So we take into consideration different issues that you might have or questions that might be on your mind. So today we have with us the Director of Financial Aid, Ms. Cindy Garner, and she has an extensive history with helping students to budget and to also plan their fiscal responsibilities. You may recognize her if you recently interviewed on our campus because she generally facilitates some of our lunch seminars on this topic. Today, we're going to be talking about just different things related to financial aid, such as eligibility, availability, the process of applying for, as well as strategies for maintaining a sound budget while you're in optometry school. And it looks like we have a good mix of students with us or attendees with us. Some of them, it seems, will be beginning in the fall, and then others are in a different part of the process. And this particular seminar or webinar rather, is relevant no matter where you are in the process. I invite you to ask any questions that you may have. You can see that there's a chat box and also a question box. So I will be monitoring that throughout the session. And we'll be sure to address all of the inquiries that you have, whether it's during the seminar or at the end of it. Also, to let you know, we will be recording this webinar and posting it on YouTube so that you can view this at a later time. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Ms. Cindy Garner.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning, and I hope you're staying safe and staying home. But I know it's important for you to find out all this information that you need to know before you begin in the fall, or if you're just now deciding to apply for admittance to the college. But I'll go ahead and get started, and like Ashley said, be sure to put any questions you have down there as I go. Here's the agenda. How do you apply for financial aid? How much can you borrow? What types of aid do we have? How and when do you receive your funds? And then there'll be a little bit about debt management. All right, how do you apply for aid? First of all, there will be 3 forms that will be emailed to you. And if you have been accepted and have not received those forms, I'd like you to email me, and that information will be at the end of the presentation. But right now you would need to email those forms to me so that I can get them since I am working from home. And the next thing you would need to do is get a FSA ID and fill out your FAFSA. And then you'll need to do promissory notes for your direct loans, and also later in July or August, you'll do one if you do receive the HPSL loan. And also you have to complete your entrance counseling, also at the same website as your promissory note. Now, how much can you borrow? You could borrow no more than your total budget. And so I've shown here that how much your total budget would be. This year, the tuition is staying the same for non-regional students, and it's a little lower for regional students. And also it shows what your living expenses would be. And so if you do not need to borrow living expenses, you can see above the yellow line how much you would have to pay just for the direct cost to the college. In your budget for first year students, you're only enrolled 8 months, so you can borrow living expenses for 8 months. So May, June, and half of July at the end of your first year, you are not able to borrow funds. So many of our students participate in WorkStudy to make up the difference. And some students don't use their full budget during the year, and they can borrow from that also. Now, here is your living expense budget. When you go out looking for your apartment, you need to be especially cognizant of the housing costs that we can allow into your budget. If you are a single student with no children, you can borrow $690 a month. And then there's other expenses here that will be in your budget also. If you, for some reason, get a cheaper apartment and you're only paying $600, that's how much will be in your budget, because we do request a copy of your lease so that we'll know exactly what you're paying. But if you get a roommate, you will definitely be able to live in a nice area and a nice apartment complex for $690. And then if you do have a child, the total living expenses are a little bit higher. Now here are the maximums per loan type. You can have borrow the HPSL loan. It is $6,780 this year. You do have to submit parental income information on your FAFSA from the 2018 tax year. And that gives us the information we need to see if you're eligible for that loan. No other loans look at your parent income, only the HPSL loan. Then next you would have the Stafford unsubsidized loan, which the maximum is $40,500 per year. And if you still need more than that, you can borrow from the Graduate Plus loan, but we suggest you delay borrowing from the Graduate Plus loan as long as possible, because it's based on your credit. Sometimes you have to have someone endorse for you, and also you start making payments as soon as you graduate. You don't have any grace period there. And then here I've also shown you what the total budget is So as you can see, if you're a regional student, you won't need the full unsubsidized loan. But if you're a regional, non-regional student, you probably do need that if you're needing to borrow living expenses. Now, what if you need more? The only way to borrow more money is to increase your budget, and there are certain things that are allowed by law to add into your budget. Things such as health insurance, auto repairs, if you have any medical expenses or copays, if you purchase a computer, things like that can be added into your budget. But items that cannot be added are car payments, credit card payments, pet expenses. Um, uh, it it really has to be something that is for your education only. Now, the types of aid we have at SCO are the health profession student loans, federal direct unsubsidized loans, and graduate plus loans. We also have scholarships, but those are handled through the admissions office. Now, the health profession student loan has a 5% fixed interest rate, 12-month grace period, which means no interest accrues from the time you graduate for a full year. It is need-based, so you do have to submit your parental income for 2018, and that's required on the FAFSA. And SEO is the lender of this loan, but Heartland is the loan servicer, so you may get emails from them as well. Now, the federal direct unsubsidized loan, it has an interest rate of 6%. It is unsubsidized, so interest accrues immediately all the way through while you're in school and all the way through grace and repayment, steadily accruing interest. And the grace period is 6 months. So you graduate in May, your payments will be due on this loan beginning in November. And they do deduct an origination fee from each disbursement that you receive. And that origination fee this year is 1.059%. Now, next is the Graduate Plus loan. The interest rate is 7.079%. It has no grace period, so you may start making payments as soon as you graduate. The origination fee for this one is 4.236%. And like I said, it is credit worthy and an endorser may be required. Also, we have federal WorkStudy. It's just like having a part-time job while you're in school. The pay ranges from $13 to $17 per hour, depending on which job you have. It is need-based, so it's based on your income, not your parents' income. You get paid monthly through direct deposit. And if you are interested in doing any off-campus tutoring, you can sign up for the community service, and that does pay $14 per hour. Now, there are other types of aid available if you're eligible for any veterans benefits. You can check out that website. Also, service obligation loans. If you receive a military scholarship, that pays your full tuition, books, and a monthly living expense stipend. And Arkansas has a $5,000 forgivable loan that if you have an Arkansas contract seat, you are eligible for this loan, but you do have to go back to Arkansas for a year and a half for each year that you receive that. So just be cognizant of that. And also the North Carolina Fells loan, it pays $14,000 a year, You must be a North Carolina resident and have a 3.2 GPA. Now for the FAFSA, our school code is listed here. You include your parent income if you're interested in the HPSL loan. You can use the IRS data retrieval tool for your tax information, but if you want to use that for your parents' tax information, they need to do that online with their own FSA ID. Your total budget minus your EFC equals your financial need, so that's what we base what your need is. But if your EFC is higher, you can still borrow unsubsidized in the place of that. Also, most of the students have a zero EFC because they have been in college and not worked. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And if you were not born in the U.S., but you are a citizen or you're an eligible non-citizen, please enter your alien registration number. And if you do not have that information, if you could just send us a copy of your passport or something showing that you are now a citizen. Now, how and when do you receive your money? I know that's an important part of all of this. You'll receive your award information through email from either me or Del Rita Branch, our financial aid officer. You will be instructed to accept the awards through the Net Partner Student Portal. And if we awarded you too much, you can reduce that or you can decline it. And if any changes need to be made, you can let us know and we'll take care of that for you. But once the loans are accepted, that's when we know that we can send your loans to the loan servicer. Funds will be dispersed to us 10 days prior to registration, and then you will be given your loans the first day of school. So what will happen is your money will come in, we'll deduct the cost that you owe the school, and whatever's left over will be put in your checking account. And you will sign up for your checking account later in the summer. Mike Robertson will send some information to you about how to get your checking account signed up. And what you need to know, if you're going to, or even think you may want to do a work study job, make sure you bring a copy of your Social Security card when you move here, because they cannot pay you until they have a copy of your Social Security card. Also, if you want to check out your loan balances, you can go to NSLDS and find out who your servicers are and what your loan balances are. Some apartments require proof of income and they will accept your award letter as proof. So if you need an award letter and haven't been awarded yet, let me know and I can get that to you so that you can sign up for your apartment. Also, I've mentioned the Net Partner Student Portal, and here's the link to that. And you just log in with your Social Security number, and it will request you to set up a password. You can also view missing information, disbursement information, documents we may need, and all that using that Net Partner website. Now here's some reminders for you regarding debt. We want you to keep your debt as low as possible because when you graduate, we want the money you're earning to go for things that you need, not just for your loans. You don't want to be working just to pay your loans back, but you need to look at your budget for ways to lower your costs for the months you need to begin thinking from day one about externs, where you want to go. You want to think about how much that's going to cost you. And if you're wanting to go to a place that's expensive, the cost of living is expensive, you may want to try to cut down your spending for your first 3 years. So you'll have that money and you won't be, having a high debt just because of that. And also there's a website called Every Dollar that has a budgeting app to help you with budgeting, and it is free. So I would suggest going there and trying to set up a budget. And once you're at school and you need help with your budget or anything, you can just come to our financial aid office and we'll be glad to help you. Now, how can you budget for your first year? Rent, make sure you keep your roommates can help you keep under budget on your rent. Food, pack a lunch. A lot of students cook and prepare meals for the week so that they don't have to do it daily. Utilities, one of the things that I've heard students say is that they share the cost of Wi-Fi. So if you're living in an apartment complex and you've got students beside you or above you or below you, sometimes you can share the Wi-Fi. So that's just something that you could check out if you decide to do that. Also, carpool if you can. That will save, the environment. Plus, we have a groove bus that goes back and forth to Mud Island. So, and it's also free. Use apps to reduce costs on purchases like Groupons or coupons for, you know, places you go eat or anything like that. Just keep that in mind. Now here's our contact information. There's Del Rita there, financial aid officer, and also I am the director of financial aid, so you see my name there also. Plus we have an 800 number and a fax number. But for now, I would suggest sending anything you need to send us through email because we're both working from home at this time. Now, do we have any questions?
Well, I don't see any at the moment, but while I'm giving some people some time to type out their questions, Cindy, I want to thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge and expertise. That was really some good information that's pertinent on tips and strategies for financial aid and for budgeting while they're in school. While people might be trying to think of questions to ask, I do want to make a shameless plug for our next webinar, which will be May 7th. This is going to be about preparing for the OAT. So for those of you who plan on taking the exam soon, I do encourage you to attend this session as well. Two current students in Southern College of Optometry will be joining the webinar to offer some tips and strategies and give you their firsthand account of taking the exam. So I do invite you to attend on May 7th for that. Let's see. And it looks like we may have one question. Let's see. Don't see any questions at the moment.
Okay, well, if someone has a question afterwards, they can email me and I'll be glad to, talk with them.
That sounds great. And again, thank you, Cindy, for all that you do and for being available to students and being a great resource to them. And thank you to all the attendees for joining us today. And again, like Cindy said, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. Please enjoy your day and continue to stay well. And we'll see you the next time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.